Happy Friday. Hi everyone. Happy Friday. Have happy end of the week. Happy afternoon. Happy September. Hi. Yes. Hi to Sam. And today we're going to be joined by a very special person, someone that I rate really highly. And her name is Eileen. She's what she calls herself is a mindset ninja, and I think she very rightly so is that. So Eileen is someone who has helped me immensely over the last couple of years in my business, but also as a practitioner, as a Pilates teacher, learning how to find boundaries in terms of how I deal with my clients, but also how can I continue to help people without burning out and overgiving. But today we're here to talk about something very important, something that I'm spending a lot more time exploring. And today we're going to talk about pain and what's the point of pain. If it's so unpleasant, why is it in our lives? How come it exists? And Eileen is going to join me very shortly. I can see that she's watching with us. So Eileen is going to join us very soon, and she's going to share her perspective as a holistic coach, mindset coach, but also as someone who comes from a background of physical fitness and training. What is the point of pain, and how can we turn it to our advantage rather than keep trying to avoid it and push it away? So I'm just gonna press the invitation to Eileen and cross fingers for technology to work. And we're waiting. There she is. It's magic. hello, and welcome. So nice. It's so weird to see you on the screen after so long. Normally we see each other face to face every few months. I really missed your face. That's a good thing to say. But thank you so much for joining me today, for giving us your very valuable time. I know you're very busy. But I would love to, I always love starting these by inviting the person who's speaking to just tell us, who are you, what do you do, and how did you end up doing what you're doing now?
Good, thank you. Well, my name is Eileen. Who am I? Not sure. Don't have to answer that. I think I'm still trying to work out who I am or who I think I should be. But I've been coaching for over a decade. Before I got into coaching, I was a personal trainer, into fitness training. I was really into killing people, pushing them hard in the gym, and then got into coaching principles, mainly for my own personal life on, my own habits and thoughts and behaviours, and got really curious about my thinking, what I think, how come I think what I think. And then I started to just share coaching concepts with my clients, and I got titled the Mindset Ninja. So I wouldn't actually call myself a mindset ninja. I would more call myself a mindset carer, where I care about people's minds, and I truly care about how do we treat ourselves. And with life is what life is. We have many experiences where we can be pretty hard on ourselves, be pretty judgmental, push ourselves when we shouldn't be pushing ourselves, when we should be relaxing. We try and be everything to everyone. We have so many responsibilities and obligations, and that's not mindset care, that's mindset pressure. So I prefer to say the mindset carer. People call me the ninja because I do little techniques so they can learn to become their own best friend. That's mainly what I'm in the business of doing.
Fabulous. And I love how honest you are about who you used to be as a personal trainer, which in my very personal opinion, you would be my nightmare. I'll be like, go away, stop making me work. But I love how you are using your own experiences to help other people self-reflect and then become their own best friend. So that's one of the things I really loved about you. And the first time I met you, I remember you were advertising get out of your own way complimentary call, and I was like, what the hell does that mean? I don't even know what you know, what do you mean I'm in my way? Like I couldn't even understand the concept of self-sabotage. I was so into it. And you are a ninja, because we had like 20 minutes and it was just like, oh my, I was like, I need this woman in my life. Eileen, so today's topic is pain, and is something that anyone who works on mindset becomes more familiar with pain and learns how to kind of, you know, manage that situation. So from your perspective and from your opinion, what's the point of pain?
Oh, what a big question.
Yeah.
Well, you know, back in the days of personal trainer, it was pain was often viewed as you push yourself through the pain, you push yourself beyond pain. And if you showed that you were in pain, it could be perceived as a kind of weakness. And that sometimes today could be, you know, a cultural thing too. You know, my background is Irish, and it's like, come on, what are you crying for? I'll give you something to cry about. Pull yourself together. I won't do my Irish accent. And so I think for me, pain is something I used to push myself to a point of pain. And then as I've got older, I prefer to say maturer, wiser, that pain to me has a dualistic way of looking at pain. And there's a light and shadow to pain, or in normal lingo, people would say, you know, what's the good thing about pain and what's the downside of pain? And many people will say that there's nothing good. Pain is bad. I'm in pain. I don't want pain. I don't like pain. And we want to get out of pain. We want to get away from pain. But for me, I've learned over the years, for myself personally, and to everyone I get the privilege to coach, how can we make pain our friend? If pain is in our life for a reason, what if the concept everything is in our life for a reason, and it's a reason for us to learn, and it's a reason for us to grow? So whenever I look at pain, I look at 5 aspects of pain. There's intuitive pain. And intuitive pain is when we start to question who we are. And we might not, you know, we get lost along a life journey and go, I've been doing that for years, but I don't think that's me anymore. And I want to be doing that, but I don't know how to do it. So we can have intuitive pain. We can have mental pain, which is frustration, anger, you know, when we feel like we can't control something. There's a lot of that going on in the world at the moment. We can have emotional pain, where we feel emotionally hurt, upset, let down, that our expectations aren't being met. We can have spiritual pain, where we feel not connected. You know, we don't feel connected to ourselves, or we don't feel connected to our family or our friends or to our community. And we can have physical pain, which is normally a big one in the fitness and health industry, because people can use their bodies a lot and have a lot of physical pain. But normally for me, any sort of pain somebody is in often seems to be driven emotionally, but it's hidden. So for example, a lot of clients will come to me, they want to grow their business, they want to increase their income, and anything to do with finances normally lives in the base of the spine, because your back holds you up. And you need strength in your spine to hold you up. But if you are going, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to get through next week? Then normally that pain can get stored, you know, in the body. So for me, I look at the light side of pain and I look at the shadow side of pain. Or in normal lingo, what's the good thing about pain? What's the downside of pain? So the good thing about pain for most people is it gets them noticed. Now you might go, that's not a good thing. I've had pains in my knees for years from doing burpees, squats, etc. And the good thing about pain, it was a way of me giving myself comfort. Now I know that's pretty outside the normal box for most people, but I became the victim. Oh, my knees are killing me, my knees. So it's a way of actually me giving me attention. So that's one sort of pain. Another good thing about pain, it's giving you a reminder that your body is out of balance. Are you mentally out of balance? Are you physically out of balance? Are you spiritually out of balance? So now if I have physical pain, I go, oh, what is going on? I wonder what it's here to teach me. The downside of pain is pain can stop us for doing what we want to do, or pain can make us blame other people. It's, my dad's fault because I've got these long legs, or it's, the physio's fault, or it's the doctor's fault. They didn't fix me, they didn't mend me. So often there's a light and shadow of pain. So I always get a client to look at emotionally the pain that you are in. What's the good thing about having it? And it may be your body is familiar to you. You've had it for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, and you've adapted to that level of pain. And the shadow side, the negative, could be you can't do the things that you want to do, or it's holding you back in some way. Yeah. So I love the topic of pain.
Yes. And I think you told me that, or I've heard it from you by being in one of your workshops, that pain leads to wisdom. And I always held that really closely to my heart since then. So Eileen, so you've very, very nicely and very clearly and understandably explained, the light and shadow of pain, which is, and like you said, it's in different levels. It could be pain that's physical, emotional, spiritual. In kind of, obviously this is we don't have a lot of time, but are there any top tips for people kind of watching live or the recording later, for people who want to learn how to accept the pain, or at least make a little bit more space for the pain? How can they make it their friend?
Yeah, great question. Accepting pain when you're in the pain is very challenging. Yeah. Because naturally we're wired when we're in pain is to reject it, to push it away, not want it. Or we're trying to solve it and we're trying to fix it. Is it the paracetamol that will get rid of it? Is it the physio that will get rid of it? Is it the coach that will get rid of it? We're trying to get a solution to it. So the first thing with pain is probably to notice if there's a pattern of the pain. All pain has a pattern. So you want to look at, when does the pain heighten in your life? When is it worse? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Is it at a certain time in your life? When did that pain come into your life? Because normally, from my experience, when someone's going through some sort of physical pain, they've gone through an emotional change. You could say an emotional trauma or an emotional change, for example. So when I had knee pain, so I was like, oh, it must be burpees. It must be all the activities that I've done. But actually, I was going through a lot of emotional change. I was new in a marriage. I've got all this baggage that in a marriage, or as an Irish woman, and I should please my husband. But then I want to please my own life. So I was having a lot of internal conflict of trying to be a good wife and be true to my authentic self, true to Eileen's values and true to my values of my family of being a good wife. And then I could go, oh, my knees are hurting because of the, burpees. But actually, I was going through some emotional conflict. So the first thing is look at the pattern of the pain. When is it in your life, and when does it heighten? When does it get worse, and when does it get less? That's the first thing. The second thing is to notice, when you're in the pain, how do you treat you? How do you treat you? Do you blame yourself? Do you get frustrated with yourself? Do you blame other people when you're in that pain? And just to look at, how do you treat you when you're in the pain? Because ultimately, pain is heavy energy. It's dense energy. It's stuck energy. When people give pain a colour, it's normally like grey, a grey colour, a murky colour. It's not, no one goes, I'm in pain and it's yellow and flamboyant.
Flowers.
Yeah. But you want to look at the colour of the pain and how that is for you. And that pain is heavy. And then once we can look at, the pain in terms of how it's making you feel and how you are treating yourself, then we want to bring compassion. without me doing nothing, without me reaching, to grab a pill or to get this fixed, how can I give compassion to myself right now? Just like if you've seen a little child in pain, you wouldn't go, get up, stop being an idiot. Why can't you run? Yeah. You would hopefully go, hey, I can see you in pain. What's up? How are you? What do you need? So I think it's really good when someone's in pain for them to say, what do I need? Sometimes they just need a listening ear. Sometimes they just need somebody else to understand. Sometimes they just need some space. So it's kind of like bringing it back to what's the pattern? How do you treat yourself when you're going through the pain? What expectations do you have of yourself? What pressure are you putting on yourself? And how can you be compassionate? Just like you'd be compassionate to a tiny animal in pain, or you might not be that compassionate to a massive bear when it's in pain because you might be too scared, but a tiny little animal, or to a tiny child, if they were in pain, if they were crying in pain, how would you treat them? So you could actually be compassionate to you in the time of that pain. And then my fourth thing is trust. This is a challenging one. To trust that pain often is a energy that's stuck, and it will shift, it will move along in its time. But normally, we take the painkillers for 3 days. I personally don't take painkillers, but we'll do the thing for 3 days and then go, oh, I should be out of pain by now. Oh, I've been to 2 sessions with Pilates, I should be out of pain by now, even though they've been in pain for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about you just pulling back, giving yourself compassion and trust that, I'm curious that this pain is going to move on, and I trust it's going to move on, rather than who's going to fix me, who's going to save me. Certainly we need support in life, absolutely. We need experts that can help us with pain management, but just trust. So I look at the pattern, I get them to look inward of how they're treating themselves, I see how they apply compassion to self like they would to another, and then to look at, trust. How can we trust that we're going to move out of it, we're going to grow out of it? And my knee pain, since applying that method to myself, have I had help from a physio? Yes, but doing a lot of emotional coaching with myself, then my knee pain now is 80% better. 80% better. And this is when I went to doctors, I went to the hospital, they said they couldn't do anything. I've gone the holistic route, 80% better. And when it increases again, I have a little formula, a little strategy that I can work on.
That's brilliant. And what I love about what you just shared is that is something that could be very complex, but you made it very, very clear and very easily understood. So if anyone's listening, if anything went over your head, just go back to the recording and listen to it again, because sometimes the way to get ourselves help is so simple that we almost don't believe it.
Yes.
Because when I began working with you a couple of years ago, if you had told me straight away, oh, be compassionate with yourself, I'd be like, go away. I'll be like, what is she talking about? So it's quite useful. And I'm just speaking to those who might feel a little bit annoyed or a bit intrigued by what we just said, what Eileen just said. I encourage you to just listen back and get curious. Why is it that you got so annoyed by this? Because there's probably a little bit of truth in it. And I just speak from experiences, from my own lived experience of having to learn. I was like, what do you mean be compassionate to myself? What is this?
Yeah.
Because I think, and if you don't mind, just kind of sharing based on what you said, sometimes, because I've also experienced physical pain and emotional pain, we all have our own experiences. It's almost like we've learned to go outwards and look externally for that compassion and for that trust. So we might put our trust in a professional, in a physiotherapist or a counselor or a doctor or a family member, and we expect that compassion from them. And sometimes when we don't receive that compassion we expect in the way we expect it, it's the end of the world for us. It's dramatic, it's horrible. Whereas what you're suggesting, finding ways to be compassionate to ourselves from within,
Yes.
There's no way you can be disappointed because you know what you're expecting, or you can learn to know what your expectations are and learn to meet your own needs. So to me, that sounds like a fail-safe formula for just, an more easeful life.
Yeah.
So Eileen, we're actually spot on time. I could talk to you forever. We're in touch. It's been a while because of COVID, but obviously you've got lots of wonderful online masterclasses and in-person workshops and all sorts of really great initiatives. So before we finish, would you mind telling people who might be interested in finding out more about how to work with you or how to interact with you? Can you tell them how they can do that?
Yeah, by all means, you can email me. You can, obviously grab me on Instagram. It's Coaching with Eileen. My email is eileen@coachingwitheileen.com. I do 20-minute consultations if anybody wants a complimentary. It's just a coaching experience, really, where we have a chat. I must say, next 2 weeks I am book solid, but after that is fine. And also I do online masterclasses. So I do a lot of 90-minute masterclasses, which are all the things that every human goes through, which is, self-doubt, lacking confidence at time, sabotaging our own progress in life, unsure of what we want, all these sort of things that we all have as human beings, like that inner critical voice gets in the way. Us feeling that we're not heard or we're underappreciated, we want to be appreciated. So got all those masterclasses if anybody wants to join any of them. I also do live workshops, and for anyone who's in the industry and wants a certificate, I also certify coaches to become a coach on get out of your own way principles. So we look at how a person's own mind gets in the way of us living our truest life, being who we truly want to be. And I like to put it simply, we want to smile more than we're frowning. Yeah, we generally want to laugh. We want to be lighter. We want to live and let live. But the ego, the brain is wired to stick in, struggle, all those sort of things. And as we get older, we go, do you know what? I want less of that. I want my life. A lot of people come to me, I want happiness and I want freedom. And that starts on the inside, working with self on the inside. Then your outside world, reflects that.
Yeah, wonderful. And what a great kind of intention and idea to finish on. Absolutely. So that, the outside reflects the inside. Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining me, Eileen. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope I'll see you in person soon. Otherwise, I'll probably see you in one of the masterclasses.
Yeah, and just on that note, pain will pass. That's what I say. Hello, yeah. I talk to pain. Hello, pain. Come on, let's pass. So pain will pass. But thank you also for the invite. First time I've done a live, so it's good to be here and appreciate those that are listening in.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.